Hey guys, thank you again for joining us for the next episode of YOMO. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. So today we're on Reflection 306 and we are talking about
Sam the Banana Man.
Banana Man. Okay.
So this is another Ryan Holiday recommendation that I thought sounded really interesting from the end of The Obstacle is the Way. And in his interview that he was given with Tim Ferriss, he mentioned this book about this guy, his name's Samuel Zemurray, and he is better known as Sam the Banana Man and the fascinating life of Sam the Banana Man. So this dude was a self-made banana mogul. So he those little tiny dole fruits that banana. So Chiquita Bananas is his old firm's United Banana. There's this company called United Fruit. Did you ever heard of United Fruit before?
No, I haven't.
It's like
I've seen Chiquita. I've seen probably one more other brand.
Like Valero and all those oil brands used to be part of Standard Oil, which was the Rockefeller. So right. Chiquita, Dole, all those things were a part of United Fruit. It was one of those trust busted.
Broke up.
Yeah, the big banana, big fruit. They broke up Big Fruit. United Fruit was a massive conglomerate of a bunch of fruit producers, specifically bananas. Sam, the Banana Man. It's a really fascinating story about his life and how he became the banana mogul. He started off like peddling overripened bananas that he would buy secondhand and try to go sell them really fast and made turn a little profit. And slowly but surely started going more and more to Central America where these bananas were being made, and started negotiating deals with governments and buying up property and integrated himself with the locals. He built an empire on his bananas. It became United Fruit. And this is the story of his life. And it's called The Fish That Ate the Whale.
Makes you think.
Right.
Ate the whale.
Right. So this reflection for this book, it was an interesting book. I mean, he was an interesting guy. He grew up in New Orleans, and he still lived in, actually, is it Tulane? Like the university. Yeah, like Tulane University. It's in New Orleans. I think it's Tulane. He donated a ton of money. There's a lot of of the really, one of the most famous houses in New Orleans was his. And one of the biggest mansions, most famous mansions in New Orleans was something that he owned. Okay, so the reflection title for this one is Don't Miss the Point. So I think you know what that comes from, right?
The Entrepreneurial Rollercoaster.
Right. So as I said, this was a Ryan Holiday recommendation, and I definitely will never look at a banana ever again the same way after I read this book, because I probably ate more bananas while I was reading this. I think subconsciously I was like, oh my God, bananas. Every time I walked by the fruit bowl, I was like, oh, I gotta have another banana. I forgot how good bananas are. I mean, I love bananas. They're just so damn good. They weren't really they were really an exotic fruit back in the 1900s, late 1800s.
Right. So this is the reason why I can't eat bananas.
Why?
Because it's not part of evolutionary diet, and I don't have the genes to process it. Banana has a lot of sugar that I can't process.
That's pretty much all sugar.
Yeah. So you're talking about like sugarcane, bananas, corn. These are not natural fruit that we found many years ago. It's only been recent that we start taking something exotic and kind of make it into what we see today. So my body did not get the memo and get the genes to be able to process these food. So I can't process these. Sugar cane, it's like sugar. Banana is also a lot of sugar. And corn, it's just corn.
Corn truly is man-made. Bananas aren't man-made, but like corn truly,
like you say, is exotic. So it's not like a lot of people eat them on a regular basis, where over time you build up this new, I guess, evolutionary genes to process it, and so you don't get passed on, and so only it's more subset of people can eat bananas.
So I agreed. By the way, the original bananas that that they ate, they started importing from like Central America, it was called the Big Mike. It didn't taste like a normal banana,
and it wasn't sweet either.
It was a different banana. Well, I've never had one, but from what they described in the book, it sounded like it was really popular, actually. Like it was actually better than what it is today. I feel like the bananas we have today are probably been hybrid engineered, just like a lot of the apples and stuff, like Honeycrisp. They've probably found a way to make it sweeter and more sugary.
Right. Over many years of cultivation, they have making banana sweet and what it tastes today. But I've heard that a long time ago, the banana didn't taste.
This is what they looked like originally. They were called the Big Mikes.
Yeah. I've read it somewhere in one of those books, Paleo Diet or whatever. The banana, it looks really ugly. It doesn't look like the yellow banana we see today. Yeah, it looks like something like that. So you can't really eat them because there's a bunch of seeds in them.
Interesting. Yeah, that's right.
So over the many years of cultivation, they be able to completely somehow we get the seeds of a banana completely gone, and so you can eat them.
Bananas are an interesting topic, right? I never actually knew how like there was wars.
This is a Bill Bryson-esque kind of topic.
It's kind of like reading a book about so I finished a book about John Rockefeller and John D. Rockefeller and Standard Oil. This is kind of like reading a book about Rockefeller. It's about because this guy was a mogul. Like he was a straight up mogul, you know, back in the, I mean, he was on par with the Carnegies and the Rockefellers and Zemurray. But you don't know this guy. This is why it's kind of weird because he's not necessarily like that level, but he's like a tier below. And he was the dude that owned and ran one of the other biggest trusts in that time frame of United Fruit. And he created it. He created United Fruit. I mean, he built United Fruit, created just like John Rockefeller created Standard Oil.
Isn't that what you're doing?
That's true.
It's fun.
It is. He did it though in Central America, right? So he actually had wars that he created over bananas. Like no joke. I mean, literally, this guy started wars over bananas and shit, like in Central America, and it was pretty wild. The guy lived a wild life. On to the reflection. So the banana guy, Samuel Zemurray, Sam the Banana Man. I couldn't help but to think as I was listening to this dude's life and his life arc of going from nothing to being this mogul, of pulling together all these different independent fruit providers and turning them into United Fruit and buying up all this land and becoming this worldwide negotiator of diplomacy and talking to dictators all day long and really being a huge influencer in our own political system. I couldn't help but think though of Darren Hardy and the quote that we know so well from Darren Hardy and the Entrepreneurial Rollercoaster, when Darren shared a story of one of his father's close friends. The guy was apparently like a hero to Darren and somebody that he really looked up to for his business acumen and success that he had in his life. And this guy was dying. Him and his dad went to go visit him, and they kind of said their goodbyes. This was their last visit. And as they were leaving, Darren, he called Darren. He's like, Darren, come here, you know, and Darren comes over there and he's like, what's up? And he goes, don't miss the point. He goes, his exact quote was, Darren waited for the explanation, and the guy goes, I had houses, too many houses. What I needed was more people, more relationships. I invested money, but I should have invested my heart. I was keeping the wrong score. I was playing the wrong game. And he was like, don't miss the point. And I was listening to this guy's life because he had achieved so much and dominated and exploited people and just did everything that he could to make sure that his shareholder value was as best as it possibly could for United Fruit. And he said this, he was like, all we cared about was dividends. He did some terrible things and exploited a lot of labor and a lot of people, all just to make a buck for more dividends. By the time that he got later on in his life, he started giving away a lot of his money. And I think it was because he just felt bad. I think he felt bad about all the stuff that he did over the course of his life. And sadly, I think he had missed the point. I think he died a sad guy, just from the story that I heard. I don't give a shit about all this at this point in time in life. I don't want to wake up thinking that I played the wrong game and missed the point when I'm on my deathbed, right? I don't want to have to try to retroactively go fix a lifetime of playing the wrong game when I realize, oh shit, my time's almost out. You know, I really fucked that one up. I want to make sure from today going forward and every day that I take a step toward my purpose that I promised Amelia that I would do, to make her proud and to do all these other things and to not miss the point the whole entire time, right? Like I really don't. As long as I and whoever I'm around and surrounding myself with understand that what I'm doing and trying to take a step in my own purpose every single day, and that feels good, right? Like today, right before this, I was playing pickleball and I was having a blast, and now we're having a conversation. And like that's stuff that I would rather, if you told me that I had to go travel around to Central America to negotiate deals with government so I could make a little bit more money for my fruit company versus spend a night hanging out with my family, talking to you, playing some pickleball down the street and being home and sleep in my own bed, wake up the next morning, be able to take a run and with my daughter and write, you know, spend some time alone reading a book. And like, if you told me I couldn't do any of that ever again, but I got to go make more money. I mean, that just sounds like that's a life I don't want to live, right? That's a life that I won't be proud of, and I won't be proud to share with my daughter when I get to see her again. And I won't be proud to tell her every day that I get to see her, you know, and with the way that we connect today. This book was a good reminder for me of like, don't miss the point. Like, I mean, like it is, I don't give a shit how much money you give back to this world. Like if every step you take along the way isn't who you want to be, then don't fucking take the step, right? You know, I think that, anyway, all right.
So did we talk about this reflection before? Don't miss the point.
No, because the Entrepreneurial Rollercoaster, I don't think that was my reflection from it. I know we've said it many a times across this.
So I think to me, it's a very simple concept, but it's super, super important. This is the reason why I'm asking you, like, so is there a sport or a game that you don't like to play? Like bowling?
Me?
Yeah.
Honestly, no. I can't think of, I mean.
Okay, let me ask you, you like to be an accountant?
Is that a game? Like, no, I don't.
It doesn't matter.
No,
okay.
No, I hate it. Yeah.
So let me imagine this. On your tombstone, it writes, here lies the best fucking accountant in the world.
Right.
How does it make you
Yeah.
feel?
Really,
You
really
basically
sad.
feel like you're wasting your fucking time, your whole
Right.
entire life doing something in the top world-class accountant, but you hated it so much. This is what we mean when I say you missing a point. Because the
Right.
thing is, what are you trying to accomplish in a core values or field that doesn't mean anything to you? Right?
There's- Yep.
So the thing is, we're talking about being on the wrong bus. Because the thing is, you can go fast, but if you go on the wrong bus, going fast,
Right.
it just means you are further away from where you want to be.
Yep.
And you look at that and mean say, well, I have hustle and bustle. I have done this for 50, 60, 7 years to do the work to get to the point where I'm like really, really good at what I do. But I'm eating the frog the whole way. I
Right.
hated the way that I do the work. Versus over here, well, I love to do, mentoring. I love to play tennis. I love to
Right.
go and enjoy the view. I love to see people smiling. Whatever that you love. But the thing is, every one of us is drawn to a certain aspect of life. Whether that's like for me, I like tranquility. I like peaceful. I like the beach. I don't like to grind. So to me, that's the opposite. But the thing is that there's nothing wrong with grinding because you can call me, hey, you're such a boring person. You don't do anything. And to them, it's right because they want this thrill of unexpectations and rush of whatever. That's their thing. They do
Right.
that. They should have fun doing that. I enjoy the life that I want to lead, right? And so when you say you are this kind of person, you are a quiet person, you are a more down to earth anchored person, you should go be a leader, be a change. You go out there and do the thing that people should do. You should do blah, 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 right? And to me, that's a lot of work.
Right.
I don't like to do that. Eventually, because of enough hour, because of our human abilities and capabilities, we're able to achieve greatness through the thing that we repeatedly do. But it's a torturous path because the thing is, when we talked about yesterday, what's the difference between work and play? It's not like you do less effort
Right.
in work versus play, which we do, but work seems so miserable, and play
It's
seems so fun for you. So the thing is,
yeah.
what path do you take? It's not about how much effort you put in something. It's about the kind of things that you do that aligns with who you're supposed to be.
Right.
And to me, that's the key. Is you're missing the point whereby you are doing something that it doesn't align with who you are. You are doing something that people tells you what to do. You're doing things because people say to do it. You're doing things because you didn't understand yourself enough and you say, hey, I could continue to do it this way. And this is the only way I know how. Eventually, you get to the destination and you realize you're on the wrong fucking bus. This is when you say, "Whoa, shit!" Right? How do I get back to where? So I have to reboot that. I have to go back the wrong way. So it's talking about if you say, "Hey, let's say I'm in Houston, and I want to go to Florida, and I travel east to California. By the time I hit the coast over there, I say, well, that's not the coast I want. I've lost the opportunity to come.
Well, you
So
can't. I mean, you can't reverse it.
that's why the people who are trying to spend the money to trying to compensate some of that.
Their salvation or something.
The thing is, they think that money can buy their salvation, but
Right.
it does not. So that's what I'm saying is, people say, well, it's easy for you guys to say, well, you should do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy. Well, who's gonna fucking pay the bills?
Right.
And I'm saying here, say, look, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple. But if you don't do it, right, you have zero chance of being on the right bus.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give yourself enough time. So try to discover your core values as soon as you can. And you're going to transition over. Eventually, I guarantee you, you will have a pickleball club. And eventually you're going to be able to do that until the day that you physically can't play anymore. Because you have understand yourself enough now that you're going to have, you have made the transition. And I have made the transitions, right? And so that to me is a key. So it's not like, okay, oh, I like to go fishing and no one's going to pay me to go fishing. Well, it's not about, hey, you can't just go the value you bring to the world. You have been trained for 20, 30 years to get where you have a high command of salary. Now you switch to something at zero. But if you never switch, it doesn't matter how much money you have made along the way, you won't be satisfied with the life that you led. Just because I told you, I have achieved greatness in accounting. I'm not saying that when I start looking at numbers in an accounting way, right? And the thing is, a lot of people love to look at it, and like I said, that's nothing wrong with it.
A lot of people. A lot of people.
The thing is, you think about it. Like for me, I can read my code.
Right.
I can read English, right? I can read code faster than I can read a story.
I believe it. Yeah.
So but that to me is, if I give you code to look at, you're looking at like foreign language, you're going to say, well, it's going to make your head spin, right? But I'm saying is when you do that, and that's not something that you are akin to, that you like to do, it's a miserable experience. And so I'm saying, hey, for me and for you, I have no interest in doing this kind of thing. And that is something, if I continue to force myself to become good at being an accountant, I could become a good accountant. Right? It's just that I've taken extra effort to become as good as a person who is naturally gifted at it, but I still would be able to attain some kind of level. But at the end of my days, like when I am ready to leave this earth, I will feel so deflated because I have been on the wrong bus.
That's the point.
And this is a very, very simple concept, but it's super important because this is what people don't realize is, because the thing is, if you and I go out to tell people, you have to find out who you are and start to transition. And people can't do it. I mean, you look at Blake, for example. He can't do it right now, right?
It blows people's minds when you say, do what you want. And they're like, what are you talking about? And you're like, I can't just do what I want. And you're like, what do you want? And they're like, I don't know. Well, how are you going to do what you want to do if you don't even know? Almost every single person that I've ever said that to, that I personally managed, like, what do you mean? Do whatever I want.
Exactly.
Like,
this is what I'm saying. It's
like,
simple. It's hard for them to get.
They have to like literally have a paradigm shift in their own mind to go, oh, okay, I can do what I want to do. Like, I don't need to like stress out every single day to be scrambling to get to my job at 8 a.m. Like my boss is going to give me flexible, time to go do my first things first time and do whatever the fuck I want to go do and wait a minute, you're saying put myself first? Like, and then I'll show up and be in a better mood to want to do the job and do it faster and more effectively. Like, wait a minute, but that's not how this works. Like, you paid me, you get me for this amount of time.
Who told you how it works?
Right, but like this is my point. It's the older people that are like,
the older they are, the harder for them to change the paradigm.
Right, they're like, I don't get it. What are you talking about? Like the young people are like, oh my god, this is awesome. I hope every boss that I have is like this.
When you're on the bus, right, and you're driving the wrong directions,
right?
For you to come back, it takes you longer. But if you say, hey, the young guys, he's only driven like, hey, 10 minutes, and you say, hey, turn around, okay. I lost 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is a way better direction.
The other guy, I mean, the older guys, they lost like 2 hours, the whole day, or whatever.
It's never too late.
Because the thing is you think about it, like people who got to the point where they become the Mongol of this or that or whatever, and then they try every single way they can think of to get there, whether to spend the money or whatever, to try to.
It's really philanthropy. I mean, you look at the people that are giving away a shitload of money. Dudes like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and the Rockefellers, like all those fucking people, they were fucking miserable. I guarantee you they are miserable fucking people, every single day. And they're going, well, I got to do something with this money to make the world a better place.
You know why, right? You know why?
They didn't do what they wanted to do.
You have to understand, like, what's the most important resource on Earth?
Time.
Exactly.
Right.
And so you and I have keep talking about the thing that a human value the most, which is meaningful work and meaningful relationship.
Speak about any of them.
Well, I don't know about you, but I can get to take a guess about how every human beings have been evolving to the point where you and I have become the apex predator. Meaning you and I have the same, because like my eyes and your eyes are the same. We have this black part and the white part. If I look to the left, I look to the left. I look to the right, I look right. You and I are able to do that because we have evolved over the million years to become this kind of person, and we can relate to one another. If you bleed, right, I feel hurt because I can sense that, right? I know that deep down in our primitive minds, we want exactly the same thing. We want novelty, the discovery and exploration part, right? If you have $1 trillion, but you can't tell anyone about it, you can't use it for anything, so that they wouldn't know, how would you feel about that? It's gonna feel so fucking awful. There's no point in doing anything. When you found a new piece of knowledge, you can't wait to tell your wife. You can't wait to tell me. Whoever is going to understand and receive that concept and give you the positive feedback that you want. To me, that is innate human needs. We need that meaningful relationship because, like I say, if you were to live alone in a deserted island, like the Wilson guy with Tom Hanks, he went crazy. He talking coconut, and his name Wilson or whatever. You think about it, you cannot survive alone. Even if you knew that beyond that island there are other people, even then, it is very difficult for you to survive. But imagine if you know that entire universe, there's only you left. You won't survive. You probably won't survive like more than a week.
I mean,
because you keep saying, "Hey, what's the point of living if there's no one else here?" The guy who gets stranded on an island, he has hope that
somebody out there,
he's gonna find somebody.
Yeah, it's true.
To me, we need that human connections.
Man,
we belong to a tribe, and we evolve because we are evolved as a tribe. We're able to surpass the Neanderthals, right? Because we work as a group. We have part chimpanzee and part beast, and so that makes us the perfect, combinations to become who we are today. So to me, that is something that I really, really think that is our strongest. A lot of people, right? They are afraid to die alone.
Miserable.
Why do people are afraid to die alone?
Because they don't want to be alone.
Why?
I mean,
that's what I'm saying is there is not a reasonable reason why. To me, I have to say it is part of your primary directive.
Yeah, I mean,
your primitive brain is say, "Hey, I need this, right? If I don't have this, then something is wrong." So it's blaring these alarms, and so that's the thing is, people are not afraid of dying. Like a lot of time when they're in pain, they say, "Hey, I would rather die than to endure the pain," but they are very fearful of dying alone.
For sure. I mean,
from your primitive brain in the back, your hindbrain, your medulla.
That was go ahead.
And that's what I'm saying is because of that, I think if you don't cultivate the two things that we're talking about, it doesn't matter what you do. You're gonna miss the point, and the point only comes if you do things that aligns with you. That's meaningful work, right? But meaningful work begets meaningful relationship, like a yin and a yang. So as long as you focus on the core values that align to who you're supposed to be, it's not who you want to be, it's who you're supposed to be. And then you will get the point and you will enjoy the life. Because today, I asked you, if you were to leave life today or tomorrow, how much regrets do you have?
None.
You are doing what it is you want. There's no regrets.
I would regret not seeing my son grow older or what became of him. I would regret not future stuff. I would not regret anything from the past. So.
I don't think you regret that, because the thing is, when you regret, it's not about anyone else. It's about yourself, right?
No, yeah,
because really, like, hey, Luca has his own life. Your wife has her own life, and you cannot take her pain for her. Right. So most regrets is on you. Like, what did you do and what you didn't do? What did you try? What did you did not
on a personal level?
Exactly, because let's say I was doing something. I was eating the frogs, waiting for the cake. Right? I'm eating the frog, and then later on you have the cake, right? And you eating the frog, and then you just disappear and you're gone from this world. And they say, "Fuck, I didn't get my cake." That's regrets, right? And that's what I'm saying is you are on your deathbed. When you leave, are you ready to leave life with little regrets? You may have
I mean,
some, but you need to minimize as much regrets as possible.
well, I think if you do what you want to do every single day that aligns to who you want to be, you won't have regrets because you'll say, I took a step toward who I wanted to be every day. How are you going to regret that? You may be sad that you don't get more.
You don't regret it because the thing
Right.
is all based on how your primitive brain reacts to it.
Right. Which it feels like it's the right direction every single day.
That's
right,
all
exactly.
I need because
It's an
otherwise
emotion.
you feel the regrets.
Well, there's a couple things you said that I find interesting. Every autobiography, I can't really comment on these people's lives. I kind of can a little bit because I've read Steve Jobs' autobiography. I've read Samuel Zemurray's autobiography. I've read, a lot of other like business moguls, lives, right? And one thing that I've found, and on the flip side, I've read a lot of musicians like Bono, Dave Grohl, and Patti Smith, other autobiographies of artists. Like the one thing that I think that I always notice with artists is I never hear them ever say any regrets. They may say like, man, I probably should have laid off like partying a little too much or something like that. They kind of just went too far most of the time, with doing what they love to do. But like most of every one of these business moguls, almost every single one of them had serious health issues because they just stressed themselves out. Steve Jobs said he killed himself. You don't push yourself too far. Bono's never pushed himself too far, being an artist. He's maybe done it too much and he's maybe tired himself out. Like that's their problem, right?
It gets you.
Exactly. Right. Like it never ceases to fail with Rockefeller, with Jobs, with, I'm sure if I read Elon Musk's book, I'm sure it'd be full. I'm actually kind of interested to take a look at Walter Isaacson's autobiography that he just finished with Elon Musk.
Already?
Yeah, he already finished it. It just released like last month or something. But I'll probably dig into that one just because I'm curious. But but my point is like Roger Federer, Bono, athletes, Andre Agassi, whatever. The thing that you don't hear is them not, well, Agassi's a little different, but like everybody else like that I've mentioned and all the other autobiographies and stuff that I've read about these people's lives, like if you're an artist, you're doing meaningful work every single day, right? You're doing what you love every single fucking day. That's what we call artists, right? Exactly. The only business mogul that I might throw into the artist category would be Steve Jobs, because I think Steve Jobs was an artist. I think he was just an artist that had to fight to create art every single day against the business world. I actually don't think, when I think back on his autobiography, that he thought he missed the point. I think he was spot on. I think he thought he was spot on with the point. But I think that he also had some other complications. I don't think he was living a balanced life. I don't know exactly my diagnosis of Steve Jobs. He's a unique bird, man. He's a really weird bird.
Right. I think you're onto something because I can relate to what you say, because when I was younger, I was invincible. I don't get sick. If I get a cut, he was in like 24 hours. And then, like I told you, when I was younger, I don't give a shit about anything. I don't like authority and whatnot. And then, like I said, when I came here, I become like this perfect student. All A's, 6th to 12th grade, I have perfect attendance. In college, I start developing, I start doing I'm still in the matrix. They got me. And I told you they got me. And so I start to develop this like diabetes. Like I was really young. I was like 20, 21 or something. I have diabetes.
Right.
And I continue to follow the paradigm until, 40, right? 39, 40. I mean, basically I've had it. I mean, it's point, like I told you, when you're in chronic pain, you say life is shitty.
Yeah.
And to me, what you're saying is, when we do things, it goes against our body, and our body create chaos, and chaos creates these issues, right? Because it's chaos inside, you're broken, and once it's broken, you are likely to develop chronic disease, diabetes, cancers, easily overtake your body. And so the thing that I've got insight from this is that it's not about how much you work, it's how much work you put in that you like. Because right now, to me, it's like I get up.
I work a lot.
I get up like 6:30. I don't go to bed until like 1 or 2 o'clock. And I'm healthier now than before. I can run more and longer than before. I don't feel as tired, but I put in actually more hours in the things that I do today. The point is, if you choose to put your effort into the path of something that aligns with you, it doesn't wreak havoc onto your system.
other because it's a compound effect because it wreaks havoc on other systems. Like when
and
you try to bend,
spiral downward.
not just I'm not talking about literally other people. Like you
Give vibe to your surrounding people, like your
right,
wives, your kids.
your the economy. Like Samuel Zemurray.
Yeah, who can work with a guy who's completely out of his wits?
This dude started wars over. I think the diseases it's universe bending disease, right? People that think that they can just bend the will of the universe. I think when they get to the end of the days, like they're into their days, they're like, oh my God, I can't bend the will of the universe. And they're like, oh shit, I fucking missed the point the entire time. What I should have been doing is running downhill with the universe, doing what we're supposed to do, which is the shit that we're supposed to do. Like, and if we do that, like it feels like we're in alignment, and it feels like we're in connection with the universe, balanced, with the universe versus Steve Jobs had a literal saying, put a dent in the universe.
I don't fucking care, put a dent in the universe as long
Right.
as I don't push. This is the reason why yesterday I talked to you about, there's something you need to understand about the mindset of how to get things together. Because the thing is, you don't think that your plans are going to go directly exactly as you plan, because if you do that, it creates a stress. It creates a stress. It goes opposite direction of the other stress. There are the good stressors and then the bad stressors. When you do something you do not want to do, it's not what you don't want to do. It's your body doesn't want to do it. Your body resists the effort. And so you have to override the effort by putting even more power and energy into it. And so not only that you use more power to do exactly the same thing is less efficient, it actually creates havoc inside your system, and you become sick. You develop diseases, right? And so to me, that is very important. That's why I say, hey, well, stress to me is probably the number one killers of people today, right?
I mean,
and that is a callous. Well, I'm dying because of cancer. No, stress gives you cancer.
It's
stress gives you the heart attack.
Well, it's probably because you eat like shit. You don't sleep at all. Like you stress your
Why
body.
Why do you eat like shit?
Because you're in a rush all the time and you're in stress.
And so whatever you say, it still makes sense.
I'm saying like the stress is the.
You think you drink too much alcohol, stress.
And what are we stressed about? Like, I mean, honestly, what do you have to do every day?
Who put a gun to your head and say you have to do 365? To me, like you think about Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs is just like you, right? You're doing exactly what you want, but there are external paradigms you took into this, and you start saying, well, I love to write, but then I have to write in this manner, right? I have to follow this cadence, and I have to get to 365. You inflicted that misery onto yourself, and that created stress, even in the artist path, right?
Oh, yeah.
So to me, you look at Steve Jobs, I think he has a little bit of a hybrid of, he does exactly what he wants, but also there are like paradigms that he took in and embraced it, and it creates a stress inside of him, and get pancreatic cancer.
I think that's actually exactly the way I would describe Steve Jobs. The way that the book was described him is he tried to bend the will of the universe to make his art go faster and get it out there faster. He sacrificed a lot of his health and his wellness and his family life. I mean, his children, his relationship with his kids.
It's his health. That is the thing that he's going to regret the most, because I should have done that, because I should just say, hey, be alignment with who I am, who I'm supposed to be, and who the universe wants it to be. Because it's not about what you want, it's about what you need. Because like, hey, you can say, well, I don't want to eat. Well, think about it. Your body is going to give a cow. Say, hey, it's going to wear on you. So you're going to have to eat, right? And you say, hey, and decide one day, I don't want to breathe no more, right? You think, I don't want to breathe anymore, and just stop breathing. What's going to happen? Your body is going to give you don't knock on my ideas about what you're supposed to be. Because you can't choose what you're supposed to be. Like, you cannot choose not to eat. You cannot choose not to breathe, right? Meaning that your body needs certain things. It will get it. Otherwise, it creates misery for you. So it's not to say, well, I'm a fucking human being. I can be whoever I want. No. Be who you're supposed to be, not who you want to be. You can be who you can be. Hey, I want to be Elon Musk. Well, at the end of the day, you'll be miserable, right?
Like, I'm actually really curious to read his book, because I'm 99% sure that he has a miserable existence. He looks miserable. He looks like the guy's going to collapse and die at any given point in time. I can't imagine the amount of stress that he carries on him every single day, trying to bend the universe of all the things that he's trying to do. I would be shocked if I read that book and I came away with a different mindset of Elon Musk. Now, I may be totally wrong, but I'll give it a shot. But I would be shocked.
But for the most of what we've seen so far, people miss the point. Because like I say, you're not supposed to be who you want to be. You can't decide one day, hey, I want to be a monkey, and say, I want to be a monkey today. That is something you got to think about. Don't just brush off my ideas as crazy and cuckoo just because I say something that you don't understand. Because I asked you, what does it mean when you miss a point? You have to do what you are aligned to do. It's like, well, I can't do that. I'm a human being. I need to be doing these things, right?
You're not just a human being. Like, you are you as a human being. You have default stuff that you have to do, but at the same time, you have unique stuff. Right. Yeah, I agree.
Because the thing is, you think what I say, that sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous because I said you cannot define yourself. What are you talking about? I'm a human being. I can define myself. Mm-hmm. I can choose to be this person or that person.
Right.
But like I say, think about what I say. It sounds ridiculous, but think about it.
No, I'm with you. I want to be clear. I don't want to just hate on people that have success in life, like, and say, oh, they're clearly missing the point.
I'm not hating anybody because the only thing I'm doing is when you hate something, right? You're only creating misery for yourself. So I'm not hating anyone, and I'm saying everybody's unique, so they have to find their own way. You can be success all you want, right? But success to you is that alignment with who you are. If you do, it's great. Right. If you don't, and you don't listen to me, it's great too. I don't care, right? But if you want to listen, well, I'm saying, hey, maybe explore this path. That's what I'm saying. I have learned. I don't care about being a leader. This is what people say. Hey, you gotta be a leader, you gotta be a boss. I want to do the simple task over here. That's all I want to do. And so to me, I don't get envy of anyone else who achieves certain things because that's what they want. That's great. It's not what I want. The only thing that I've seen myself today, which is I've seen so differently from what I've seen before, is I can only see myself today and myself the next year and the next month. I am looking at myself as a comparison. And to me, that is something that I've done today, but it was very difficult for me to change that paradigm.
Yeah, just thinking about tomorrow is all that you should focus on anyway, and focus on your values for tomorrow. Like, would be my sentiment as well.
Who are you tomorrow versus today, right? And to say,
not even just tomorrow. I mean, like, what steps are you going to take tomorrow? It's not about just people with success, right? You could have a successful life and maybe even put a dent in the universe, like Steve Jobs. But going at it with the intention of putting a dent in the universe and trying to bend the will of the universe, like, it's never going to get you anywhere. This isn't about like saying, oh, if you're successful, you're probably not doing what you wanted to do. That's not true. I mean, there's plenty of people. There's people every day that you see walking down the street that are incredibly happy doing exactly what they love to do. They may not be Elon Musk that are in the media all the time or something along those lines, but at the same time, like, who gives a shit? They're probably living their happiest life.
Because the thing is, people say, it's no denying that Steve Jobs, Elon Musk has put a dent in the universe, and they make our life better. I mean, there's no denying it. But the thing is,
you're sacrificing yourself.
Sacrifice yourself, right? And to me, it's the thing is, it's not like, to me, I don't believe that if you didn't do it, someone else would not have done it, right? Because I say someone else would do, because as long as the universe exists, there's enough probability
somebody will do something. Yeah, right.
Gonna do to make it. So, but the thing is, you do make it dent, and yes, thank you for that. But you're sacrificing yourself from your perspective.
Not worth it.
Is it worth it? Or you missing?
You're missing the point. If Elon Musk does a second book when he's getting ready to die, he'll probably look back on this entire chapter of his life and go, I really fucking missed the point. If he lives till he's like 100 years old and he writes a second book and he goes back and looks at this book, he'll probably laugh and be like, what the fuck was I doing? I think we all will in a lot of ways, but it is what. All right, I gotta go to bed. It is super late. Late night pickleball, and this is like a super late night session for me here. All right. Question we can leave with everybody is, are you missing the point? And if you are, change it right now. Just turn around and figure out what the point is for you and go backwards now.
You're on the wrong bus.
Exactly. Or the wrong path, whatever. It doesn't even matter. You can stop and you can go back, like, don't wait until it's too far. You have no other option. You cannot turn around again. So try it and take another step every day toward who you want to be. And I promise it'll be worth it. So anyway, thanks for joining, and we will see you all tomorrow with another exciting episode.
See ya.